If today was your last day and tomorrow was too late, could you say goodbye to yesterday?
The State of the Union, presented by ZNN.
And I firmly believe that...
Oh no! Mr. President, are you okay? He's dead!
The President died of a heart attack this morning. Former Vice President Robert Morton is now Commander-in-Chief.
Even though former President Jeffrey Williams died today, I will take over America and make this place a better nation.
But what if Robert died? Who is next in line? Most people know that if President Barack Obama were to die, Vice President Joe Biden would take over as president. There are also other ways that the vice president can become the president, such as the president resigning. However, most people do not know who would be next in line after Biden would assume the role of president. If something were to happen to Biden and he died in office, the Speaker of the House, who is currently John Boehner, would become president. After the Speaker of the House, it would be the President pro tempore from the Senate, who is Patrick Leahy. But if all the people mentioned earlier were to die, the members of the President's cabinet would be next to fill the office of President, in chronological order of their department's creation. This is the order they would become president in: Secretary of State, Secretary of the Treasury, Secretary of Defense, Attorney General, Secretary of the Interior, Secretary of Agriculture, Secretary of Labor, Secretary of Health and Human Services, Secretary of Housing and Urban Development, Secretary of Transportation, Secretary of Energy, Secretary of Education, Secretary of Veterans Affairs, and lastly, Secretary of Homeland Security, who is Janet Napolitano, who is almost certainly not going to become president. Napolitano is 17th in line for the presidency, making it very unlikely for her to take office, but potentially she could still be our next leader. However, in American history, the president has only ever been replaced by the vice president. This has happened 9 times. These presidents were William Henry Harrison, Zachary Taylor, Abraham Lincoln, James Garfield, William McKinley, Warren Harding, FDR, JFK, and Richard Nixon. Each time the vice president has finished the president's term, and in some cases they have even gone on to be re-elected to the office of president. Some of these are Teddy Roosevelt, Gerald Ford, and Calvin Coolidge. This is why the president and the vice president do not travel together. If some tragic event were to happen, like a fatal plane crash, there would be a complete transition in the White House because it would cause a change in the views of our leader. It wouldn't be as drastic if only the president died, because the vice president shares almost all of his views.
Now back to the question.
So what would happen if Robert died?
Oh no!
Well, next in line would be the Speaker of the House, then the President pro tempore, then the members of the President's cabinet, in the order in which they were created.
Wow, thanks! And remember, Janet Napolitano could be our next president.